Become the master of your emotions. Exercises for self-control. And the most common mistakes. Today's video is about how to control your emotions. How to learn to master yourself. I will tell about the simplest possible exercises that will help in this, as well as warn about possible mistakes on this path. A free and whole person who is in full control of his or her life is always spontaneous and arbitrary in what is called controlling his or her emotions. Stiffness differs from such freedom by the fact that such a person gives out emotions only in response to external stimuli. If such stimuli are negative, then they are followed by a flurry of emotions that literally knock a person out of the well-traveled track, make him mad, and for a long time. Someone said something unpleasant, came not the best news, and a person for a long time is knocked out of the usual course of his life. Figuratively speaking, he, like a boiling pot, tears off the lid. Is it possible to resist it? Yes. What is the nature of emotions? Emotions are manifestations of our nervous system, that is, they are as real and inherent to us as blood flow or homeostasis. Emotions help us respond to signals from the environment, make contact with it, gain insight into it, and based on that insight, make decisions that may cost us our survival. Interestingly, people who have lost the ability to experience emotions due to brain injury cannot make a choice between options. Or rather, they can be guided by logic alone, but not by subjective preferences. It is at the expense of emotions that a person in communication with others looks alive, and communication with him runs fully. It is difficult to imagine without emotional involvement in any creative process. Neither Pushkin nor Beethoven would not have become geniuses if they had received a brain injury in that area of the brain called the limbic system. It is responsible for emotions. As the control center of life of different people, depending on their temperament and character, can be either emotions or reason. I will not open America by saying that our emotional brain structures are happy like a child when they are treated to sweets, be it cake or brownies, alcohol or fatty foods. Such food is by no means good for the body and figure, but the pleasure center in the brain doesn't care about that. It's important for it to get pleasure here and now. But it is worth including reason in this game, and its course changes. Logic says that it is much better to sacrifice immediate pleasure in order to get long-term pleasure, in the form of good health, moderate weight and excellent physical shape. It is important to note that even sensible, rational people, accustomed to be guided in life by logic, can fall under the influence of a particularly strong emotion, whether it is a strong impulse of passion, burning desire for revenge, etc. Subsequently, they bitterly regret that went on the subject of the overwhelming emotion. And this could have been avoided if they had the skills of self-control. 5 major mistakes on the way to harmony with yourself. To master the fine art of emotional self-control, it is important to have an idea of the most common mistakes that should not be made. Blocking emotions. When an unwanted emotion slams in like a tsunami, you can't just shove it away by saying, "Stop" mentally. Suppressing the emotion will do no good. On the contrary, it will increase stress even more. The stress of the negative emotion itself is amplified by the stress of blocking it, of prohibiting it from being experienced. Some people have imagined the unwanted emotion as a soccer ball, which they hit with force and sent it far beyond the mental horizon. This is not the way to do it. Any emotion that visits us, it is necessary to work out and live. Cover the negativity with strained positivity. You should not try to put a fake smile on yourself and force yourself to be positive if the emotion you are experiencing is negative. Buddy, you don't believe yourself. You don't believe that fake smile you've strapped on your face. If you've picked up this nonsense about positive attitude from shallow coaches, get it out of your head. I'll tell you about more effective techniques. Letting go of your emotion. If you're feeling angry, you don't have to open a window and yell to release your emotional outburst, or pounding your fist against the wall. Giving in completely to the will of emotion, as a small child, is unacceptable. First, you will soon regret, because from your emotional fugue will surely suffer your loved ones. And secondly, there are more constructive solutions, but about them below. By the way, the advice that it is better to pour negativity on a punching bag, boxing on it instead of your boss, enemy, ex, etc., is from the same opera. You might work off the uppercut that way, but not the emotion that's eating you up. Blame your actions on your emotions. It's not me, it's me, I flared up, I lost my head, etc. Don't follow your emotions and especially don't justify them. Change to positive thinking. It is impossible for anyone to experience only positive emotions all the time. In addition, to go into positive thinking means a strong detachment from reality, because it is foolish to believe that it is entirely composed of pleasant events and facts. To maintain a rainbow attitude day after day is akin to believing in unicorns. Sooner or later it is bound to break on the harsh, if not cruel manifestations of life. For exercises that will help you own yourself, these exercises are not complicated at all, but incredibly effective. Just try practicing them and see for yourself. Important. Do the exercises regularly. Only in this way they will give the desired effect. Identify the emotion. In other words, name it, put it into words. Are you angry or excited, afraid or jealous? Do you want revenge or punishment? The emotion may not necessarily be pure. Perhaps anger is mixed with despair, or frustration with anger. If you find it difficult to identify your experience, use the emotional states chart. Now start simply observing the emotion. Do this every time your emotional background changes. Ask yourself a simple question. What am I feeling? And observe the emotion. Project the emotion into your body. Every emotion you experience is reflected in the body. That's why by controlling your body, you can control your emotional life. As soon as you feel the pot boiling over, identify the emotion and channel it into whatever part of the body you want. Could be your fist. Clench it tightly and then relax it. Do a few repetitions. You will see yourself that the emotion will work out and come out. Alternatively, you can tense any muscle to the limit and hold it in this state for as long as possible, until it does not tire and relax. Breathe. If the emotional experience is particularly strong, and you are overwhelmed by a whole emotional shaft, start breathing. Following this system, of course. Take a deep inhale and a very slow exhale. Develop this skill, perfect it to the point of automaticity. Regular practice will help with this. To do this, every time remember something sharply negative and unpleasant, for example, a quarrel with your beloved. This is called reactivation of emotion, and start breathing. Make several cycles of deep inhalations and exhalations. It is desirable to do this for several months 3 to 4 times a day. In this way, an automaticity will develop. Mentally play with an emotion. When we experience something unpleasant, negative thoughts, bodily sensations and visual images arise after the emotion. By acting on these images, you can change the emotion itself. So, you have determined what emotion you are experiencing, named it and worked it out in your body. Now play with the images that arise in your imagination. In your mental picture, is the emotion round or square? Is it dense or loose? Is it huge or microscopic? Is it yellow or black? Change all of that. Visualize the experience into a green cumulus cloud, for example, and mentally blow on it, racing it from west to east and back again. Figures of aerobatics in the management of emotions. A true master, who indiscriminately and completely owns his emotional feeling world, is able not only to master the emotion experienced right now, but also to cause any emotion at will. At any given moment, he is capable of experiencing a state of joy, passionate love, a little melancholy, peace, quiet contemplation, etc. The master is able to induce such states at any time and experience them for as long as he/she needs. Thank you for your attention. Be sure to share your opinion in the comments. Feedback is important to me. Don't forget to support the video with a like. And don't forget to subscribe.